Greetings, my fellow occult members. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to a new series playing RimWorld 1.5 featuring the Anomaly DLC called Death Cult. If you would like to skip the series overview or the setup of the world, please use YouTube chapters. Two cultists broke off from society to invest all of the time, energy, and research unlocking the mysteries of the occult. They're willing to give up their humanity and sacrifice everything in pursuit of power and knowledge. They must expand their cult and build a formidable estate to further unlock knowledge of the arcane. This scenario is a new scenario start called the Anomaly. The difficulty is, of course, losing is fun. Storyteller is random. DLCs is all of them. Mods are none. This is vanilla with the DLCs enabled. And of course, version 1.5, that should be obvious. The goal is very, amorphous because I, A, don't know how it will end. Like, if it has end conditions, and B, we'll just discover for ourselves. And the additional details, of course, that this is a viewer-driven series, so you guys are going to be polled and making important decisions, and they aren't min-maxed, they aren't meta. Mistakes happen, save scumming might happen. The world was just a random seed, and the starting location was just a random click, I've only had Anomaly on my desk for like an hour and change, so... yeah, this is what I came up with. So this is our lovely little world. It's totally generic. It's totally default. With all of the default factions that come... basically just a start game. I didn't do much else. And we're in a temperate forest. Literally, it's a colony called Colony. That's how little we have set up. So this is the map tile here. Looks like we might have an ancient danger there. But apart from that, just farmland, some animals, an anima tree. Oh, good. This is a good, very spicy combo. An anima tree next to the exostrider midsection. At least the anima tree is not flammable. And then the starting characters. We have a Valka Hylas. She is a regent, and she's hypersensitive, fast learner, and sanguine. Quite a lot of skills in her 53 years that she has acquired. She's a baseliner. We've got Jazz. Jazz is ready to put down some roots. He's a constructor, miner, pretty good at social, and also a baseliner. Oh, health. They are slightly different. So Valka has a flesh mass lung, giving her partial toxic environmental resistance at the cost of some pain. And same with the stomach, meaning that she won't get food poisoned. These are mutations as a result of Anomaly. Jazz also has a flesh mass lung as well. And he is industrious, quick sleeper, and steadfast. And then we have Fish Pickles, or pickled fish pickles, is a Neanderthal, and he's a ghoul. So ghouls are sort of zombies under colonist control, maybe? They're kind of hard to define, but as you can see, they don't work at all. But he does have... So ghouls don't feel pain, are super temperature tolerant. If they're enemy ghouls, they need to be contained in a containment facility. They do require a lot of food, and they can't be affected by psychic stuff. And their real advantage is their unnatural regeneration, where they regenerate an enormous amount of HP per day. So... this ghoul is a tough, jogging Neanderthal, so he should be very hard to take down. We start with a proximity detector, which detects invisible entities. We also start with a turret pack, 2 of them, which are like temporary little tactical turrets that you can use in emergencies. Some books, I don't know what they are. So this one is a shooting and mining book. This one is a plants book. And this one is a void provocation book. We'll get into that. That gives a mental break chance when you read it. Oh, good. Like a grimoire. I love grimoires and how they mess up your brain. We also have a holding platform, which is to contain entities. And then we have this twisted meat. Twisted meat is like the flesh of a horrible creature, which can be sourced from ball freaks and tough spikes. I don't know what they are even, but it's food. and, you know, some other stuff, some weapons and the like. Let's also go over ideology as well, because that's significantly different. So, we are Archist, and these are Anomaly memes. We are collectivist, which makes sense in our case. But we are inhuman. So, humanity is a barrier to our connection with the machine god and its pleasurable rewards. So it requires the precepts of inhumanizing, also execution, cannibalism, corpses, nutrient-based skull spikes, slavery, free love, male clothing, female clothing, and organ usage. The one that you might not be familiar with is the inhumanizing. So what ends up happening is that all of the colonists will have a permanent -8 mood, and if they have a mental break, it causes them to sort of denounce their humanity. And we'll get into that once we get there. And then the other meme is ritualist. There is a greater energy in the universe. Through ritual, we can understand it and harness its power. So it has the required precepts of psychic rituals, which is exalted, and I'll cover that in a second. And then also, void study is very efficient, meaning that we can study the void quickly. But it also means that we research normal stuff slowly. So void study is an increased research into void study. The way the... Oops, sorry. Normally my phone is muted, but apparently not today. The way the research tree is now split up is you have the main research. Well, it looks a bit different, but you have the main research, which should be pretty familiar, and anomaly research, which we will be unlocking in due time, which is like void study. Back to the ideology. So we also have the psychic rituals precept. So it increases the mood if they're involved in a psychic ritual. It makes them upset if psychic rituals haven't been done recently. And then involved in psychic rituals go up for opinions, and there's a psychic ritual quality offset, which goes up. And everything else is like default presets that come with these memes. Okay, that about covers that. Let's think about putting down some roots right at the start. So before we even start anything to that nature, let's go ahead and set up some priorities here. Childcare, that's a weird one. I don't know what that means. I do. I'm just saying, this colony is not really set up for children. And the, we have dark study and regular research. Okay. So we have a nice large patch of fertile soil here, which obviously would be very good to farm in. There's some clays or mud that we want to avoid because that will be tough to build in. And then there's this fallen monolith that we can investigate. But I would like to set up a basic living structure before we do anything else. So build a starting cabin. I like to live in the center of the map because it gives you the most amount of time for threats to traverse to you. So let's go ahead and set our starting cabin here. And I'll do a 9x9. I picked this spot because it's close to the fertile soil, and it doesn't have a lot of trees. It only has one, so I don't really have to cut down a lot of trees for it. We do have these new like ornate doors and security doors, but it's a starting cabin, so we are, of course, just roughing it in the woods. At some point, we might be able to turn it to stone, you know, for security's sake, but that day is not today. So we'll also put some beds in there, put a table, chairs, chests, horseshoes, yeah, maybe that's it for now. As far as power goes, we could invest in wood fire initially. It's not a terrible idea. If I do choose to put wood, you know, I could put a wind. I could put a wind turbine, like, covering the crops, because I'm not going to be planting trees, most likely. But yeah, I'll probably just do a simple wood fire for now. With a battery attached to it. And stick a roof over the battery. So roof over this and roof over the battery. No cable, so we can't have feedback events. So this is very, very basic. And let's get that going. So I'm going to order all so that they can start hauling. And fish pickles. How about you go practice punching raccoons? Seems reasonable. Your needs will be met soon. Your food needs. So plant, cut, and grow would be Ivalka. So I'm going to have Ivalka do the harvesting of the berries and the trees. We're also probably going to want like a butcher table at some point, an electric stove, but we probably don't need that stuff like right now. We do have some packaged survival meals that will cover us for like, I don't know, a few days at least. All right, eat the raccoon. Thank you. Fish pickles is nomming that raccoon. Didn't even get hurt. Are you kidding? Wow. Too bad you're not also a jogger. Or a brawler, rather. And I'll go for wooden flooring. I mean, it's expensive, but starting shacks, you know, they cover you for a good amount of days until you're ready to formally move in. So let's also get a bookshelf, a bookcase rather, because I have a decent amount of books that I don't want laying on the ground, and I'll put a invisibility detector right near our front door. As far as weapons go, Jazz is the worst of the two shooters, but I'm going to give him the shotgun anyway. And then I'll have them wear the turret packs as well. What do ghouls eat? That's a good question. Ghouls eat raw meat and corpses. So I don't think that there's a dietary restriction necessarily for ghouls, just as long as you have, you know, raw meat or corpses available. So getting a freezer up early on might be pretty handy in keeping the ghoul satiated. All right, Ivalka, I want you to cut down fully grown trees. I think what I'll do is I'll do a growing zone here to start to cut down the fully grown trees that are covering the fertile soil after I cut down these 4 trees that I've queued up manually. Nothing like having a ghoul be able to do the hunting for you by just like smashing things to death with his bare hands. Pretty reasonable. Just RimWorld things. So the Extra Strider midsection would be pretty handy to have some robot helpers early on. But because I'm really not in a capacity to keep them like powered up or whatever, obviously they could like idle and passively very slowly regen. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait on that until we're at least a little bit more well established. Does the ghoul need a bed? So if you take a look at the ghoul's needs, it's food only. They don't sleep, they don't recreate, they don't have mood, they don't have beauty, comfort, outdoors. They don't even think really. They just feed. They're like zombies. So no, zombies don't sleep. Ghouls don't sleep. All right, let's make sure to get the beds going, and I'm gonna forbid the floor for now to prioritize the wall, so we can get walls up around us. Purple Wren, Crash, Pernicious Pasty, Sapo, Fnar, Klein, and Muckaplex. Thank you for the resubs and the cheer. Cheers. All right, Hunter lacks suitable weapons, so Valka, you aren't a hunter any longer. Do this more efficiently and haul it together. Is there more wood out here that could be delivered? Martius and Shona, thank you for the resubs too. Alright, no recreation, just build walls. Fish Pickles, you are already healed. Go kill another alpaca. And then let's go ahead and set up a dumping stockpile right here for corpses. So important that corpses go there. Corpse stockpile. And this will be the general stockpile. Of course, the ghoul can't haul, so it does require other people to do the hauling. But, you know, that's fine. All right, we are almost walled in, which is good. Valka is getting a whole lot of these trees cut. What's with the blue animals? If you zoom all the way out, the camera lets you zoom out a little bit further and gives you sort of like an overview so that you can easily spot entities. I think this is probably an addition because Anomaly introduces a lot of new enemy types, so it helps to identify those new enemy types, you know, before they eat you or whatever they do. Wall lights! Oh yes, the power of wall light. Okay, well, we have a basic shack. I want to get a little bit more invested in it. But at this point, I'm gonna start polling you guys. So, first project. What do you want it to be? So what do I build next? Ta-da! Bedrooms, crafting room, research room, dining or recreation, kitchen, containment, defenses, or other. You suggest. Give you some time to mull that over. Oh, Fish Pickles, I have a new target for you. There's a guinea pig for experimentation that needs to be culled. Bye-bye, pig. Alright, both of these beds are normal, that's fine. Just as long as they're not low quality. And Fish Pickles, maybe we'll have you hang around home so you don't wander off too far. Looks like you need to eat though, so how about we go have you munch on... We'll leave the alpaca for the colonists to haul. Let's go get you some midnight snacks, some squirrel snacks. Nom nom. All right, corpse stockpile. Yes, it probably should not have rotted corpses. Touche. And then this here is just for me to move chunks, so don't bother with the corpses. I just wanted the chunks out of the way. What's this shield in front of the front entrance? It's a proximity detector. It detects invisible entities. Because when they're swiggity-swooty and really spooky, you need to be able to see them before they, you know, pop out of nowhere and eat you. The starting shack is coming together. Swell. I am going to get the butcher table and the stove at the very least. And then start working on other priorities. So this room is very dirty, but now there's a right-click clean, which cleans everything, which is certainly useful. So you are reading the shooting and mining book. Okay. Let's go ahead and haul the other books before they, decay into nothing. Especially the Horonemics. I feel like that's a book that should be, probably cherished a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. After cutting down a few more trees, I'm going to start sowing probably rice and a shoot frenzy for Jazz. Cool. Well, if anything attacks me, I'm ready to gun. All right, building a roof over the butchery, and then setting up the butchery so that we butcher creatures forever that are very close to the butchery. Done. I don't want to go running around for it. Forget about that. And let's go ahead. Who cooks? It was Jazz. So Jazz, you cook until we have, let's say, 6 meals. And then I'm going to set up small shelves for the kitchen here for now. 2 little shelves for meals and meat so that they're close and available. Right. Looks like kitchen and research room are kind of tied. If you haven't voted yet, please feel free to do so that we can break this tie. So this here will be for meat, or yeah, just really any meat. I don't care. Humans fine. And then this here will be for meals. All right, fish, instead of you eating the meals that we're preparing, you go get your own meal. Okay. Pig from Guinea. Delicious. Once we're done hauling everything into place, I am probably going to mess with the fallen monolith. Nice awful barracks. My favorite type. A housemate? Are you a high mate housemate? No, you're a baseliner. Ugh. I'm going to take some skulls. No, you know what? I didn't earn them. Skulls are... they got to be earned. So it looks like you guys want a research room. Got it. What regular research do you want me to do? And my current priority is now build a basic lab. So in order to limit the filth of said lab, I'm going to have it attached so that there's less filth buildup on the ground. We're also going to want cabling going over to it. And maybe 1 unit further down. But yeah. This will allow for also like hospital if we need as well. I can stick a bed in there for hospitals. Cutting the trees, getting them out of the way. And you guys could decide on next research. Next normal research. Not to be confused with void research or anomaly research. All right. The other thing I'd like to do is change the food policies here. So regular policies will be herbal meds for now. Managed food policies. The default I want is simple. I'm sort of contemplating whether or not I want to nuke all the other policies or not. Yeah, let me just do that. Oops. We have a very non-traditional colony. It's also entirely possible to rely on nutrient paste if we get that research, because we are eventually going to be somewhat dehumanized, and as a result, nutrient paste is fine. Don't mind it. So that would be a really easy way to feed ourselves if we go down that research route. And I didn't include it in this poll, but I guess we're going to do solar panels first. I can see to that. All right, working on the lab. Once Avalka's done cutting all the trees out of the way, we are going to go monolithing. If you're wondering what that means, you will find out. Still getting the hand of trying to place the... There we go. Wallite was like, you shall not click. All right, that has been cleared. So Avalka... actually, there's a little bit more to haul. Once it's done hauling. There's still, like, bioferrite and steel. Their backpacks are little single-use turrets that they can deploy that last for 5 hours. That are, like, battery-powered turrets. A stopgap measure for when you get it rated early and you're just like, uh-oh! Alright, before we go any further, I want to get rid of auto-home zoning because I don't like it. I don't need to be cleaning up a giant farm field. That doesn't make any sense. And then painting my own home zones. There we go. I'm going to let my guys haul some of the stockpile in. Jazz is now doing that, so Avalka, let's investigate the fallen monolith. And then once you're done with that, I also would like... You know? Now... let's not farm yet, because Fish Pickles can kill for us. He doesn't sleep or care. So maybe we try to just do, like, meat that Fish Pickles fetches. So going after animals that are easier to kill, but still yielding high meat would be good. And let me read this. So this is Avalka messing with the monolith. The monolith's dark metallic surface is warm to the touch, and Avalka thinks she can hear a faint hum emanating from inside. The lines on its dusty surface seem to squirm in unsettling patterns. Avalka focuses on the shapes, trying to uncover their meaning. The hum strengthens. The shapes begin to flow in Avalka's vision, but the surface isn't changing. Power begins to uncoil in the empty space all around. A black shape is forming in her mind. The anomaly is stirring. Keep focusing on the anomaly. Gray pall. A blanket of gritty fog has descended on this area. The fog smells ancient somehow, and stings the skin. The unnatural grayness of it invokes a sense of dread. As the monolith twisted and changed, Avalka was overcome with a horrifying vision. In an instant, she understood. The monolith is a doorway, just barely cracked open now. Something dark beyond imagination stirs on the other side, seeping into our reality. Terrified but excited, Avalka is convinced she can learn more if given the time to study the monolith. Building category unlocked Anomaly. Research tab unlocked Anomaly. Entity Codex unlocked. You can now study the monolith and other entities to gain anomaly research. So here's the quest. You've activated the monolith. It is a conduit for psychic energy, just barely cracked open now. A mind of incomprehensible horror stirs on the other side, and is now touching our world. The monolith seems to be partly active, and there seems to be no way to shut it down. To learn more, you must activate it further, which will require some special research. The current monolith level is 1. In order to advance the monolith to the next step, you need to discover 8 basic tier entities. So here is the entity codex. So far, we have discovered the Void Monolith and ghouls, because we started with one. There is additional entities that we have not yet discovered, advanced entities, and ultimate entities. We can toggle this for study, and this leads to a new research choice. So, here's the poll, but before you vote, I'm going to read and explain. Void Provocation. Build a psychic ritual spot and perform psychic rituals. Use the Void Provocation ritual to discover new entities. It unlocks the Void Provocation ritual and a ritual spot, which is like it's rather large. Bioferrite Harvesting. Build bioferrite harvesters to generate bioferrite from captured entities contained in holding platforms. Or Entity Containment. Build holding platforms and inhibitors to better contain entities. So you guys can choose one of those researches. And there's the poll. So I'm going to stop studying it for now until we make a choice. Oh, good job, fish. You didn't even get hurt. A harbinger tree has sprouted. Harbinger trees have sprouted nearby. These gnarled trees grow flesh-like coverings and feed on corpses and raw meat placed nearby. If well fed, the grove will continue to grow. In a tribal myth, these trees are the emissaries of shapeless god, who rules an endless black ocean. The myth ends after the shapeless god reaches up from the water and tears down the sky. So there is harbinger trees back here. And I am going to have this be a low priority for corpses. So most of the some of the courses, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this corpse zone. So we only have 3 corpses stored near the butchery. And any additional corpses are hauled out to the harbinger trees to keep them fed. So this is an entity codex, and it is a basic entity. So I am going to butcher creature when I have less than 100 meat, so that the butchery stockpile fills up, and we can have the extra corpses be fed to the harbinger trees. So here are the harbinger trees. Oh, fish, if you can race over, you can kill this guinea pig that's like sitting on the harbinger trees. And as you can see, the harbinger trees are eating the corpses here. So yes, rotted corpses are just fine, and their growth rate is connected to whether it's consuming flesh or not. So as you can see, the tree has tentacles that come up from underground to consume corpses. Dinner, just like my mama cooks. What's got you stressed out? Great Paul exposure, minor pain, slept in the cold, human shame, awful barracks. So like, you know, just a little. Got a little close to the ancient danger. Yeah, I figured that was an ancient danger. And you guys, I think, are going to want me to research entity containment. Got it. So, toggle study and entity containment. Figuring out how to contain entities. And Avalka, I am going to micromanage and send her straight to the monolith to study it. So, as she does research at the monolith, the entity containment goes up. It's a very different type of research acquisition than normal. The tree doesn't really care if it's like human, animal, meat, whatever. It just feeds on flesh. It's a flesh eater. Is that straightforward enough? All right, I'm looking for other easy corpses to get with fish. Can the ghoul die? Yeah. They're tough, but they're not immortal. Alright, there we go. So, as you can see, the Void Monolith here can't be studied constantly. It has a cooldown period. So, when Dark Study is available, I'm going to set that as a top priority. So, Valka stops what she's doing and hits up the Void Study. Next construction project, up to you guys. Can it be enclosed? Yeah, I think so. Bud. All right, and you guys did want solar panel research, so I'm going to queue that up. It's a little cold. Those trees are no longer growing. Fish. Let's go have you get some bunny meat. Oh, that's a boom rat. Let's leave boom rats alone. So we're hauling a whole lot of dead critters over to the Harbinger trees. The southern tree is getting most of the action. But, you know, we can see what it does when it grows. Avalka is now researching solar. And I am going to build a basic kitchen. Quick question for you guys. Should I cook or eat nutrient paste? Because that will change the layout of the kitchen, obviously. I need to know that first. So our ideology doesn't mind nutrient paste. Well, it's up to you guys. One way or another, we will be fed. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Death Cult, which originally streamed live on Twitch April 11th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow cultists.